Good afternoon. Hi, everyone. Oh, round of applause. Oh, for you. That's what it's for. Certainly not for me. Yes, Philip's back. All right, what do we do if the bell goes off? Stay put. Okay, very important. We're getting closer to our October 4th emergency drill. Okay, so that is the most important thing. When you hear the alarm go off, you need to shelter in place. Unless you are in imminent danger, that is the instruction that we get from the fire inspector and the emergency responders all the time. That is the most critical thing. And I will tell you, as a mom of school-age children, that is the message that they get trained on all the time in their active shooter drills, and in their emergency preparedness drills, is to shelter in place, okay? So if you hear the emergency, or if you hear the fire alarm go off, you need to stay put. We will find out what's going on, and then we will provide you instructions, okay? We're gonna start off with Philip, because he's gotta go to a meeting, and then we're gonna do a little bit of something different today, and then we're gonna go into our regular management Q&A. So Philip, would you like to start us off? Do you like the handheld, or do you like this? Okay. Go ahead.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for that welcome. And if I may say, none of you look a day older than 3.5 months ago. Yes, I'm back from sabbatical. This is the beginning of my 3rd week back. Just a wonderful, important, privileged experience for me. And I'd be happy to bore any of you with that if you'd like to come to my office and talk about it. But I am back, ready to go. Been meeting with my staff, getting my one-to-one catch-ups done. I've been to 1 council meeting so far, and will continue my pursuit of getting back on board. But everything was so well managed by this great group of professionals here that it made it much easier. But I'm just really delighted to be back. Eager to hear from anyone who has some suggestions or that dirty word complaint. I can take it. Just want to let you know I'm available and back. So does anyone have any questions? All right. I highly recommend Hawaii, particularly the island of Kauai, if you have not been.
All right. So the next thing I'd like to do is talk a little bit, or introduce, do you want to? Okay. So Amy, why don't you give us a little bit of an update as to where we are with Visual Touch, and then we'll have Tanya kind of go through what you want her to go through.
Okay. Because I love being up here. Of course. I'm Amy McIntyre, the Director of Dining here at Woodland Ponds, for anyone who doesn't know who I am already. Okay, so today we have Tanya Reyes here with us. Tanya has been key and pivotal in helping us transition into Visual Touch. This system it's big. It's a great, and I love that we have it, but there's so much into the transition. The one thing that we've been discussing since the beginning with all of you is that reservations, right away, we just wanted the staff to learn it. I needed Ruth to understand the reservation system before you did. Okay, now we're at the point where some on their own are doing online reservations. Online meal ordering is not a thing, and we're not ready for that. Okay, but right now, a lot of you are starting the online reservation process. Do understand that if you're not comfortable with it, Ruth, who's in the back of the room right now, because she wants to see this presentation too, is always there at the desk. You can call or email at any time. So quickly, Tanya's just going to go over, how to do online reservations. We also have handouts. Will also be available for any more questions, like not at the management Q&A, but this is just the first step in understanding reservations with Visual Touch.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tanya. I'm the IT coordinator here at Woodland Ponds. I've been pulled in, as Amy said, to implement the new dining system. Oh, okay. I won't drop the mic. Okay. So I created a PowerPoint presentation on online reservations. How many of you have already attempted online reservations? How many have been successful with online reservations? Okay, pretty good. All right, so this is gonna be pretty quick. Like Amy said, I do have handouts, but they're upon request. You can go see Marissa, and she has a couple already printed out. If you need a printout, we can print it out for you, okay? So online reservations. How many have registered with the dining portal? Okay, those of you who have not, please see Marissa, and she will send an invitation, and the invitation will take you through the registration process, okay? Once you have registered and you have a username and a password, you can log in and you'll get to the dashboard. Here at the dashboard, you have order online. Like Amy said, that is not turned on yet. So please do not attempt to do online ordering. Continue doing it the way you have been doing it. Make a reservation. So if you're gonna make a reservation, here's the button. You're gonna click on make a reservation. Then the only picture that will show up is the main dining room. There's no other location at Woodland Pond where you can make a reservation for. So you're gonna click on the picture. Click. Then you're gonna choose your reservation date. Now, reservations can only be booked out for 2 weeks. I don't know how many of you are used to Ruth doing recurring reservations, but that's no longer available. However, you can still continue to see Ruth, and you can still continue to email Ruth your reservations, okay? So after you click the date, you're gonna click next. Now you're gonna click the number of people in your reservations. You have to include yourself. So here, it's myself and Michelle. We're going to have dinner together. Click next. Now you're gonna pick a time. So we have 3 seating times. Each seating times allow 50 resident reservations, okay? Once you click a time, you click next. Now, if the time is not available, that means there are no available reservations. However, I would recommend that you call or email Ruth, just to make sure. Okay, this is a very important section because this is where you're going to indicate who you're having dinner with. So the special instruction box, which is where it says Grimolia. Did I spell your name right? Yeah, I did. They spelled my name wrong. You're gonna indicate the last name of the other residents having dinner with you, okay? So if you say you're having dinner with 4 residents, you're gonna put the other 3 resident last names in that section. Always make sure you review your reservation before you click submit reservation. So at the very top, it says main dining room, says the date, the time, and the number of people in your reservation. Then click submit reservation. The first name, last name, and email does. Good question. And then. Yeah, so what happens is Ruth will get whatever names you put in the special instructions. She'll get that in a comment section. So whoever's gonna be the lead reservation resident to make the reservation should write the last names because that is what Ruth sees under the comments when it comes to her, when it alerts her that you guys have a reservation. Okay, so it's very important you put the last names of the residents you're sharing the reservation with.
Tamar.
What if you're making a reservation, but you're not sure who will be eating with you? Can you indicate that, or do you have to put all the names in when you make the reservation?
I think you can go back in to edit. Actually, you can. You can go back into your reservation and I'll show you where you can do that to edit your reservation and add those last names.
But you can indicate that there are two more people.
Yes, you can edit your reservation. So you can begin with 2, and then you can go back maybe a day or 2 later and indicate, no, it's actually 4, and then put their last names in there. And I'll show you where that is.
You got Ruth gives you 2 days, correct? 48 hours, you got to add those names in. Where 2 things can happen. You could show them where to edit, you could also call Ruth, because she's gonna see 4 and just your name. That's gonna be a red flag for anyone at the host stand. You
Okay.
wanna know who those other 3 people are.
Just repeat that for the recording quick, or I can repeat it. So you have 48 hours, anyone listening at home and on the recording, you have 48 hours to change the reservation. So if you put it in as 2 or 4,
All right, ready? Because this is so important. As always, the new system that we had set up and we all agreed upon after this management Q&A was that if you weren't sure who you were sitting with, you were given a 48-hour time lot so that you could put a reservation in for 4 people. Betsy put in for herself and Bill, but they didn't know who the other 2 people were. We gave them a couple days. That guaranteed that time for them because that was important, but it also gave them a couple days to figure out who was going to be at that table. 2 ways to handle that. The first one is if Ruth is going to see a red flag, she's going to see you have a table of 4 reserved with only 2 names. So she needs to follow up on that regardless. That's one step, as she would have done for your emails or your phone calls. The second step is Tanya can show you quickly how to edit that yourself.
question here for Michelle.
What we've done in the past is, I make the reservation for myself and another person and leave 2 open seats that they can fill with whoever they want. So if you just leave those 2 seats open, does that continue that way?
Yes, we're still going to continue to remember the Woodland Pond way. The idea is to socialize. We have many new residents coming into this building every day. We're not going to close the table at 2 unless you want to. You know that we have made these 2 tops, we call them, for anyone who wants to just sit with their significant other, their friend or whoever. But Ruth will always make every effort to fill a table. So you just put the 2 in, and just like always, she's going to add 2 more to that table. And that is what what we love to do. Because a lot of times people come down and they don't have anyone to sit with. And we love the idea of being able to put them with other people. So keep that in mind.
So could we have it where in the comment section, they could add, please add
We
2?
always just add 2. It's a rule. We do tables of 4 unless they close the table.
Okay.
It's as a rule, you guys all know that, unless you tell us who you're sitting with. I'm so loud, Betsy. Really? Oh, okay. Unless you tell us who you're sitting with already, or you have specified to Ruth that you want one of those tables of 2 that we have, we make every effort to make tables of 4. There are nights that it doesn't work that way. Because if we have an odd number of reservations and an even number of people, you guys understand that. So there are times where you've come for reservations and we've had to put you at a 2, or there's been only 3 people at your table instead of 4. That is simply because the reservation numbers didn't line up. Because you have to understand what Ruth has to do. She takes all of your ones that you set up, like of the ones that you've told who's at your tables. And then she takes the other ones and she puts you all together. It's definitely a puzzle every day for her. All right, we're going to move on.
Hey, I got one right here from Joe Sanders.
And if you only want 2 at a table, is there a way to specify that?
Yeah, put that in your comments. Absolutely. You're going to
Comments?
put the 2 and then on the bottom, it's a special box we already spoke about. Here's your special instruction box.
Okay.
Before you submit your reservation, you can put that it's for the 2. And we will do everything to accommodate you. But if we cannot accommodate that, Ruth is going to call you. She's going to ask you, just like she always has in the past.
What is the policy on 6 tops or 8 tops?
Explain to me what you mean.
If we want a table of 6
It's the same process that it's always been. So you have a table for four or more, call Ruth. That was your question, correct? You're not making a reservation right now, Tanya. We can only make 4 at a time. Right. So call Ruth for your 6 or more than 4. So you have a lot of standing 6 tops. Just give Ruth an email, send her an email, or call her for anything bigger, larger tables than 4.
Flexible, is it to get a larger table, or do you really want us to stay at 4?
We average 5 to, we average about 5, 6 tops a night. So it's pretty flexible because that's 30 of you total, so if I'm feeding about 120 a night and 30 of you are the 6 tops. So we rarely say no to those bigger tables, correct, Ruth? We've been pushing tables together. I know you've seen it. So not only have we surpassed the rounds, but now we're putting some of our other tables together to accommodate the bigger groups. I want you to sit in the bigger groups. I want everyone. I want every day to be a party because that means you're coming to our dining room. But other than that, just call Ruth for those. Okay, Tamara?
Okay, so after you submit the reservation, you get the confirmation that your reservation has been saved. You have to make sure you get this confirmation because that's what gets to Ruth. Okay? Click OK. Here, so we're back at the dashboard. You will notice under My Reservations, that's where all your reservations are going to be listed. So you will see My Reservation, date, time, location, total guest. Here's where you can click Edit Reservation. Once you edit reservation, it's going to take you back in and take you through the whole process again. And that's it. So on the next screen, it's a quick overview of the dining system. So we all began with activating our badges. If you have not activated your badge, please see Ruth. That's the first one. The second one, register for the portal. So those of you who haven't, please see Marissa so we can send you an invitation. Online reservations. Although we really, really want you to start doing online reservations, they're not required. You can continue to email Ruth, call Ruth, or go to the hostess station. And online ordering. I'm going to stress it because I don't want you guys to do online ordering and then not have a meal that evening. So it's not active. When it is, I'm sure Amy will announce it and we'll do the same procedure as we're doing with reservations. And if you want a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, please go see Marissa.
Hang on, I know.
Hey, Aina.
My badge was activated but doesn't work.
Okay, so you can come see me or Ruth and we can fix it. Now, do you have 2 badges? Okay, because only 1 badge can be activated for the dining system.
Go Halima and then Michelle.
Hi, Tanya. I got into the portal, but the title of the portal is the Woodland Pond at newpaltz.org. And there was nothing called dining. The entry point, which Ryan and I played with for quite a while, is called Resident Portal. That took us to dining.
Right.
Now, I don't know if that's true for everyone or it was.
Well, if you're going to go through the Woodland Pond portal, you have to click on Resident Portal.
What is the preferred portal then? If it's not Woodland Pond, what should we
Well, it's
be
the
using?
Woodland Pond website. Once you're on the Woodland Pond website, you go onto the Resident Portal. When you click on Resident Portal, it's going to request the general password, which is, I think, Woodland, right? 123 or something? Just
No.
Woodland? Just Woodland? Okay. Once you get into that, then you scroll down and it says dining portal. Now, Halima, I worked with you and I went upstairs to your apartment. I saved it as a shortcut desktop. So you don't have to go through all those steps. I saved the desktop, I saved the shortcut on your desktop and it says that just like I did for Aina.
So Friday, when I'm talking to some of the new residents, what is the website that they're going into to get to the dining?
You go back.
That didn't work for me.
I think I put it in the first page.
Okay.
There it is. I'll give you a copy of this presentation if you want, Halima. And I'm also creating the new resident presentation for you.
What we can do is we can email this link out to our notification system, our every resident. We'll email this afternoon. Wait, I'm gonna go here to Michelle and then you, Mr. Tool.
I make reservations for myself and one of my neighbors, and in the past, what I've done is given her a printout, so she had it. Are we able to, when we put all our reservation in for that 2-week period, able to print that for
Yes, you're
somebody?
able to print it when you click on my reservations, the last page. Yeah, you can print this out.
What sort of information is available to the guests that you're inviting to the table with you? Do they ever get notified that you have made the reservation for them? If they log on for themselves, do they see that they have a reservation and things like that?
They do not. It would be the same as it's always been. When you call or email and say that Betsy's going to sit with you, we don't call Betsy and tell her that because you've already arranged that. Betsy's down. Now, if Betsy herself would like to confirm with Ruth that she's down for a reservation with Ina, then she can do that just like it's been in the past. So there is no confirmation. You're putting it in the special. If you want to call back, write it in the comments, meaning like where your special notes are that you want to sit with Ina Potteroff. Can you let Ina know? That's something we can do. But as of right now, we haven't done that before. If you call and make a reservation for 4 and give us every name on that reservation, we're not calling each of you to confirm that you know you're eating with Ina. So, because you've already agreed to that.
And,
If you want to confirm it though, you could always go to the host stand, call or email.
but the other guests won't even know that they are in the system.
But
If they try to make their own reservation.
Correct, but then Ruth would see that Betsy Tool has 2 reservations. So then she would have to handle that.
Okay.
There, currently, the system does not do anything to alert the resident that they're being put in
Thank you.
currently. All right, any other questions that because this is a leadership management Q&As. Anyone other questions? You could see Ruth at the host stand. Tanya's always available. We have Marissa, but I'm thinking because of time, maybe we should move on. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Yeah, sorry. Okay, quick. Okay, just want to talk about some of the things that are happening in dining very quickly. We all know I can talk fast. Okay, outdoor dining after Memorial Day weekend, we're going to start outdoor dining, okay, on the left side, obviously not in the pub area. Last year, we waited way too long. This year, we're just going to start it. You just have to know when you're making your reservations in the comment special instructions part that you want an outdoor spot, okay? Ruth will let you know. You can also call or talk to Ruth personally. Thursday, June 1st at noon is our first official barbecue of the season. I know that Cameron's going to talk to you more about it. We're going to be doing it at lunch. We're going to be working with the American Alzheimer's Association and doing a staff and resident barbecue to kick off summer. I also plan on doing monthly barbecues. So we will have one every month. We're going to theme them kind of like the luau last year because we had lots of fun. I already had suggestions about somebody wants barbecue ribs and we're definitely going to have them. Jared didn't put them on the menu because he didn't want you to get bored of them. So when you have them at the barbecue, you have them every week. I just want to say that this is the end of our second cycle of the 5-week new menus. Does that make sense? So you've now seen these 5 weeks twice. I got a comment, Happy or Not, says the menus, a table of 6, they were saying that they were bored of the menus already. So I just need more feedback on what that means. If there's an item that Ina's different. My one vegan has a comment to me that she's told me 10 times and she just thinks that her vegan items are on a 2-week cycle and not a 5-week. All right, you got to give to me. And she needs me to look into what Jared's doing. Other than that, I need feedback about, not that Julia's a great server. I love Julia too. But let me know if there's an item that you want to see. That's why you have that happy or not machine. If there's something that we're not offering spring, summer that you've remembered that we've had and you didn't tell me the last 20 times I asked you to tell me, let me know now, okay? I mean, I know you see liver and onions on that menu. And then just a quick update, and then I'm done, about the pub on Saturdays. Dining committee, when I was just there, they had asked me to talk about how the pub was doing. On Saturdays, we're opening now from 12 to 2. Is everyone liking that? Is everyone going to the pub and enjoying it? We understand that it's just soup, some Danish muffins, and we put in at 12 o'clock, we fill that cooler, and then it's until it's empty. We don't keep refilling. I don't keep making sandwiches because I have a 3-day dating system and I don't serve anything old, as you all know. So at noon, that cooler is filled, the Simply to Go. And then once it's gone, it's gone. That's how I've been doing it. And I know that the dining committee asked me to clarify that for you. I will let you know, because I like to tell you a lot, the sales were $128 this past Saturday I'm going to tell you, Bets. Our sales on Tuesday when we do tacos from 12 to 2 is $419. When we do on Wednesday the 10th, it was $252. And on Thursday the 11th, I did 3 days in a row last week, was $251.97. So yes.
I could have predicted that a number of people who go for lunch and enjoy having lunch,
Yeah.
that lunch often has hot sandwiches,
Yes.
and it's very different from the Saturday just soup.
Yeah, this is just pub though. We understand that, right? These are just pub sales. This is not included in bistro sales. I have very separate areas, okay? So I'm just referring to the items purchased at the pub. Now, I do know that you can buy hot items at the pub also to go. The question is because of labor, I didn't have another cook to do this. So the idea, and I just want to tell you, this is just me giving you an idea of how it is.
But
Okay.
But I would like you not to infer, just because there are not that many people at lunchtime on Saturday as there are Monday through Friday, it might have something to do with the offerings. No complaint about staff.
Oh, absolutely. And we also don't have the staff that we have Monday through Friday. It's a little different. There's no admin. It's just like different kind of a feel overall. This was more like a service that we're doing. I just want to, full disclosure, tell you the difference because I was asked, we're going to do this 90 days and then I'm going to bring all of this to the dining committee. I already told them they're going to get a full report come the first week of June, and they're going to see all of this. And then we have another 30 days to play with this and to see what we're doing. I just want you guys to remember, I'm bringing it to the forefront of your heads that we are here on Saturdays. Please come and enjoy the pub on a Saturday. Come get some of Eon soup.
Amy, we got one here.
Yep.
I think the moral of the story is have more tacos.
They get tired of Taco Tuesday too tomorrow. You'd be surprised. Yes, she's coming.
Can you explain the positions of the wait staff, what the order takers do, what the runners do, et cetera? Might help us understand how the actual dining experience is functioning now. That seems to have changed a little.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about in the dining room at night at dinner. Okay. So with the new POS system, you guys know it's called point of sale. I throw a lot of terminology, restaurant terminology around and forget not everyone knows what I'm talking about. So the point of sale system is a new computer system, the tablet system. To have that system work correctly, we had to change our level of service. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a long time because I find with your servers, they start off great and then they end terribly. You lose them. Come, 4:45 is the best service of the night. You want to be honest, because tables are all fresh. By the time 6:15 comes, they're all haggard, my servers. They've been running around. They got tables still from 4:45. They have dinners that just came out. So you got desserts, dinners, blah, blah, blah. So I implemented a front waiter, back waiter system runner. It's done in a lot of fine dining restaurants, and like middle of the road, a really popular one would be Shadows, just to give you an idea if you've ever been there. So your front waiter or captain is the face of the table. That is the person who is taking the orders. That person should, for the most part, stay on the floor, we call it, the whole time. The only time that they should not be on the floor is if, let's say, they forgot a salad dressing and they had to quickly go run it for you. I wouldn't want one of them to tell you no because I'm not allowed. They also go to make sure they can check on a table. So if they see a table's taking a little too long, they can run into the kitchen to check on it quickly. Other than that, they should not be doing, they should be bussing your tables into the corners of the room. You guys have seen the bussing stations we now have? Okay. And the idea of that is that they're supposed to always be there in their section for you. Because a lot of times servers get busy and they forget about tables. It happens everywhere. I had a really crappy server last night on my birthday and it affected everything. So that was last night at dinners at Savona's, where I spent a lot of money on dinner and I got horrible service. So this is a front waiter position. The back waiter is the person who's doing all of your drinks, all of your soups, salads, all of your desserts. And then the runner is the person who's bringing out your entrees. That's usually Monique or Sarah or Emily. We have the same runners. All right, so that's called a front waiter, back waiter, expediter. So they are literally teaming up together to take tables. So every night you come into the dining room, you have now 2 servers. You have the face that takes your order, and you have the person who runs all of your drinks, salads, soups, and stuff like that. Any questions on that? Do you feel like the level of service has gotten better? Don't you think? I mean, I'm very happy about it, but like when I've been there, but I can't be there every minute, but I think the level of service has changed immensely. And I think the front waiters and back waiters love it too. And the more comfortable that they get with this system and the more comfortable you do, the only thing my front waiters have asked is you guys slow down a little. And make, like with ordering, because they're still getting used to putting everything in and it's a little slow. And you guys will know what you're having. I'll have, my water with lemon, no ice, half full with you all know. And so, and then your names, you got to wear your badges because they're supposed to be signing your badges in. But if you forget your badges, they can search you. Okay. Yeah. So just be patient with them. You all know. All right, I'm going to go because I'm totally over in time.
Morning, I'm Tom Tango, Director of Plan Ops. The first thing I want to chat about, June 19th, we're going to have the annual fire inspection. Corey Worthman sent somebody from the Village of New Paltz fire inspection team, and they're going to come through the north wing this year. And each year they do a different wing. They're going to do the north wing this year. And what they're going to be looking for is a couple things. They're going to be looking for that the door closer is on the door and working. They're also going to look to make sure that you're not storing anything in the mechanical closet where the heater is. And it means nothing, not like just a broom or just one thing, nothing can be in there. And they look at a couple other things just to make sure that all the systems are working and you can get out of the apartment easy, things like that. But like I say, the big things are the door closers and stuff in the mechanical room. So if you're aware that your door closer isn't there or isn't working and you live in the north wing, give concierge a call and we'll come put it back on. All right. And again, he is not looking to see if you made your bed or you did your dishes. So he's just looking at the fire stuff. And one of our guys will be with him. And if you're not home, we're still going in, and they'll just put a note on your door that they were there. And no, we can't control where he goes and what he does. So like when he comes in, like he might knock on your door and you might say, can you come back later? If he says, okay, fine, but we can't control where he goes and what he does. Yeah, the other thing that he'll be very focused on is what they call paths of egress, meaning can they safely get in your apartment and get to you in the event of a fire or any emergency. So like, do you have too much? Is it too cluttered? Is the furniture placed in a way that a fire emergency services can't get there? And if he sees something, he'll let you know and let us know about that. That's one thing that they are looking for, just to make sure that you're safe, your neighbors are safe, and the emergency responders are safe when they come in.
Hang on, I know.
You said this is on the 19th?
Correct.
The paper said the 12th, the paper we got yesterday.
Oh, then that's correct. Not the 19th then. Whatever if it says the 12th, then you're correct. Thank you. Yep. Yeah. Any questions about anything?
This is gonna sound like a dumb question, but, by the door closing,
Right.
do you mean that it clicks that it's completely closed or that it just closes? Because I always have to kind of give mine a little shove so that it clicks and I know it's not gonna get blown open.
If that's how yours works, yeah, call concierge, put a work order in because it does need to click shut. Yes. And the door closer is the device that's up on the door here and that actually closes the door. And that's a fire code. There was a fire about a year ago down in the city and a lot of people died, and they died because that building had closers that didn't work and didn't have closers. So the whole, like this building, like any building, it's designed in a system, and that system has one of the major components is that the doors all close. So if there's a fire in one apartment, the fire stays in that apartment and it doesn't prevent anybody else from getting out if they need to. So he's very focused on if the door closers are there. But good question. They don't have to just be there. They have to actually work. And the other thing is we don't just want them there and working just so we pass inspection. We want them there and working so they work and you actually are safer. So anything else? All right. I'll leave on a high note. Now you have Rob.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Robert Dunn, Director of Environmental Services. I just wanted to touch on, I think we have a handful of people. I think we're down to 21 people to schedule for annuals. I see one or two faces that are due in here. Give Carrie a call or myself a call and we'll get you scheduled. We should be 100% complete shortly. I'm expecting around the beginning of July and we can start all over again. This would probably be the first time, if not ever, we've completed all of these annuals in a calendar year. So thank you. Thank you. It's a big it's a big task to get everybody deep cleaned around here. A lot of work goes into it. I know like everyone loves the annual team that comes through and does what they have to do. So just those of you who have not had it done, if we ever reached out to you, reach out to us and we'll get you scheduled and we'll have you done hopefully by the beginning of July so we can start over. All right. Go ahead. Jason's coming to you. Hold on 1 second.
When I called to schedule an annual, they said because we moved in last August, we weren't scheduled to this coming August.
That's correct. We try and do anyone that new that has moved in, what you have missed out on in the last 12 years is, pushing annuals, because of the pandemic and staffing and other reasons. It just got longer. Like it was so long since we have done them. Basically, we had to start last summer and just start all over with everybody. And we consider as soon as you move in, like that's an annual. That's the cleanest your apartment's going to be before you move in, and then once all your stuff comes in, ideally now that everything is moving, we can get everybody now 12 months out, because I know you're looking, okay, it's been what, 10 months for you. A lot of these people, it's been a lot longer. So you know. But I think that that's something that we can look forward to going forward. Is it'll be roughly every 12 to 13 months we can get everybody done, as long as everything is going, you know, smoothly or whatnot. So, but yes, we should be able to track any new people that come on. We have your move-in date, and then we can move forward from there. So we know when you move in, and then we'll schedule you in August and somewhere around that time to get you done. Okay. If you want to look at a list before you have that annual done, we can just give that copy to you so you'll see what it is they're going to do ahead of time. If there's certain things you don't want done, we can do that too. You know what I mean? So it's somewhat flexible. Any other questions for me, annuals? Mr. Jason's coming, hold on.
I was wondering, is there going to be a shredding truck visiting this spring?
It's a good question. Usually one of the board person brings a shredding truck in.
It's Sarah. Well, I actually emailed Sarah last week about that, and Mark Shane is the one who scheduled it or schedules them regularly, and there's no date set yet. So when we know more, it'll be in the Chanticleer. We'll put it out.
All right, we'll put that out for you. Okay. Any other questions for me? All right, thanks.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bridget Blum, Director of Human Resources, and just an announcement for today. On June 30th, we are going to have another blood drive here at Woodland Pond. The last blood drive that we did was very successful. We filled all of our open spots, so there will be signs going up about that. The American Red Cross automatically sends out email blasts and notifications to previous donors, asking folks to sign up. I will be doing the signups again for the blood drive. My contact information will be in the communications, but you can also register right online. Many of you did that last time and had success. So it will be business as usual as far as the blood drive goes. But June 30th is the next date. Okay. Any questions? All right.
Hi, everyone. This is not a question, but a comment to Amy. Yesterday was my first day, Sharon and I coming back after the 5th of May. And I went to dinner, ate with a new couple, and I had a waiter. I had the whole explanation that you gave, and I heard on on 1340. I said worked wonderfully. Michael explained to me, he was the runner. Emily, the shorter Emily, took the liquid water drink order. She went in, and about 2 minutes later, Michael came to me, and I said, "What's going on? How did you get this to our table?" And he immediately explained to me the whole system. And then taller Emily brought out our dinner order. So I heard it at our cottage. Came up here, I wanted to say to you that it was working fine. Okay. I heard that. And I also want to say something. I don't know if you've spoken already, but I read on the email that you had a cleanup around the loop. I'm sorry I missed it because the cleanup that we had on 299 was fabulous. So that's my comments for today. I'm sorry.
No, go. Yeah.
Are you sure? Hi, everyone. My name is Cameron Ilgner. I am the Strategic Initiative Specialist. I just have a few things to go over. I will piggyback off of what Art was saying. We had our first Adopt a Highway cleanup along 299 right near where Lowe's is in Lloyd. So that's where we had adopted for Woodland Pond to sponsor basically the highway. It's a program through the Department of Transportation, and after a few rainouts and rescheduling, we were able to do it on May 1st. So thank you to all the residents who were able to participate in that. That was our first go around. So depending on how the highway looks, we'll try and kind of keep an eye out, but our goal is to do quarterly cleanups. Again, that will depend on the weather and how the highway's looking, but we did our first one May 1st, and then we'll probably try and jump towards August for the next one. But as an extra, we had a few residents come, shout out to Dave Smith and Paul Huth, who were looking to clean up around Woodland Pond. So, you know, we have staffing issues here and there, but it's always a concern of keeping Woodland Pond as clean as it possibly can be. So these residents came forward to me and asked if they were able to do so. So with the help of Jason, Rob, and Tom, we were able to get that achieved. So thank you again for that. And then going off of what Bridget was saying, I just kind of wanted to add in here that we are moving forward with some different training initiatives for staff. Tomorrow, we actually have a company coming on site to train 3 of our nurses to become CPR certified to train others. So more or less like a train the trainee type of program. So these 3 nurses, we have 2 from the health center and 1, which is Angel, getting certified to train CPR training. So we'll be able to offer that to staff who are, interested in getting that as a perk through Woodland Pond. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Does that also involve defibrillator training?
It does. So it's CPR, AED, and first aid.
Great. Thanks for getting them. I'm delighted.
And then on top of that, we're also working to get some additional dementia training here on campus. We're kind of figuring out the logistics as to what that looks like, because that is a regulation for our health center staff. So we're kind of trying to play around and see what it is that we're looking to offer for that, but just so that you all know.
Question, is the training going to include residents that want to be trained or not?
To become CPR certified?
Certified or just knowledgeable about what to do?
So we had to pay per person. So that's why we have the 3 nurses who will be trained to train others. So we can talk about that if we want to include residents the option to become CPR certified. So we'll get you some more information down the road on that. Jumping over into the Verizon information. I know a lot of you have heard some information as to what it is we're trying to convey. We've had Anthony, who works in the Verizon store in Kingston, come and do a few clinics, kind of just to give some people some information as to what is possible for getting them new plans, existing plans, lower their bill, whatever it may be. He will be here on Tuesday, next Tuesday, for a Verizon clinic. If you are interested in receiving any type of help as far as your cellular plan or bill goes, please try and reach out to either concierge or Ryan, our resident tech assistant, to try and get in with him next Tuesday. But in addition, I did want to mention that currently we're trying to figure out a new program where we can offer a business plan for residents. So unless you are a part of a family plan, it is extremely expensive to have a cellular device, whether that be from the actual cost of the device to the plan, to data streaming, however you have it. So right now we're kind of in the interest phase. So if anybody might be interested in lowering your bill through Verizon, whether you have AT&T or a separate carrier or Verizon currently, please go to concierge and give them your name. They have a running list of people who might be interested. So more information to come on that once we get some more names. Bill.
Yeah, I'm wondering about the level of commitment from Anthony from Kingston, because I've been scheduled at least twice and been canceled. And so I'm not clear that you need to convince me that there's a commitment.
So the commitment is purely based off of the fact that he can receive business from him. However, I will add, we do not have him come here for a day if there's only one resident who needs to be seen. And that is purely a decision that we have made because of utilizing his time. So in order to be efficient, we've been trying to kind of narrow it down to one day where he can have a full schedule of residents. And that's why your appointment had been scheduled, or I'm sorry, been canceled last time.
Twice.
When we moved here, we got a sweet deal from Spectrum because we have Spectrum TV here and Spectrum Internet. We got a very good deal from Spectrum Mobile. We switched from Verizon to Spectrum Mobile. You may want to look into the Spectrum people and see if you could work out. I mean, I don't get anything from this, but but you may be able to work out something.
Okay,
really
yeah,
good with
I'll
it.
ask you a couple questions about it if you don't mind, and we'll go from there. Yakov.
Perhaps related to that, I think a week ago there was a problem with the Verizon for the Spectrum connection, so we lost all the Wi-Fi and so on the departments. My cell phone is from Verizon, and I'm supposed to get, cellular service from Verizon, and during that exact time, I didn't have service. So I wonder if Verizon is using the Spectrum network to, the hardware to provide that service. Do you know?
What Yakov is saying is it might be a matter of circumstance, or I don't know if it was completely related. Yakov is saying when we had a Spectrum outage last week, his cell phone, which is through Verizon, went down at the same time. I think it's just a bad coincidence. I do think they use the same towers, but it is a different service. So I just don't think it's related.
Dave had a question.
Want something, Tom? So you thanked the residents for participating in the cleanup, but you neglected to thank the manager staff. You had 6 managers out there, and I think we have maybe 7 or 8 residents, but 4, you're here in the room today. So thank you all for that.
Thank you. We almost lost Tom.
Tom extended himself beyond the boundary that we had established. So hooray for Tom.
We had to send a car for him. And I also forgot to add that the next cleanup we do, we're going to open it to all residents and staff. So the last one was for exclusively executive team and the Lands Conservation Committee, just because that was the committee who was, really spearheading it. But the next, ones to come, we'll definitely open up to everybody. So I also wanted to just quickly mention again, because I keep on doing this, is our emergency exercise, which is October 4th. Not going to say very much. However, there will be training. There will be things to come, dependent on Tom and what that is. We don't know. But there will be training and emergency preparedness initiatives to come forth. And that will come from the county and the state and the town level. And again, this is really just to prepare the community as far as residents and staff go in order to, be prepared for some type of emergency event. Next is just the Alzheimer's Association. I'm going to put a write-up into the newsletter for next month to kind of give a breakdown of what exactly we're doing. I think I included it last month. However, what we're doing at Woodland Pond is first sponsoring the Walk to End Alzheimer's event, which is on October 14th. And we are also having a team. So a group of myself and 5 residents who have been so gracious to volunteer their time in fundraising. We are setting ourselves a goal of $15,000 to raise from now until then, with very many different events and opportunities in order to fundraise that money. That will be through residents, families, and staff. Again, all of this will be in the newsletter. It'll be in Chanticleer's, all in time to come. But over the next half of year that we have until October, less than half a year, we're really trying to put forth a great fundraising goal and achieve this. So the first one that we have coming up, like Amy said, is the Kickoff to Summer Barbecue, which is on June 1st. We are selling tickets at a pre-sale price and then an at the door price. So the pre-sale price is $14, which I know sounds high. However, with the cost of food and labor, it's the only way we could generate some type of something off of it. So with trying to be generous and also, mindful of what it is to your pockets, that barbecue will include your traditional barbecue things with vegan and vegetarian options. And you can either dine outside with us on the courtyard or take it away. So just a heads up, if you guys are looking to do that, make sure you get that pre-sale ticket. drinks and desserts and food. So. Right. So this is 2 weeks from this coming Thursday. The pub and the bistro will not be open during the time. The barbecue is from 12 to 2. Oh, right. And concierge and reception will both house the tickets. So what will happen is you'll go there, see them for a ticket. They'll give you a numbered ticket and write down your name in the exact space so that we can keep a head count of who will be there that day. And then you'll come that day with your ticket, and then it can just come right off of your decline. So any questions? I put the menu summary right on the announcement, so you'll see it. So you go to the concierge or reception, concierge, just to grab a ticket. Anybody else? Okay. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, tomorrow morning, we are having a corporate breakfast here for the Alzheimer's Association, and that has to do with our community sponsorship with them for the walk. So unfortunately, we're not able to have residents with us tomorrow morning, but it will be for people in the community who are looking to support our team. So.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shannon Scatoro, the Director of Marketing. May has been a busy month for us. We've had 6 new people move in so far, 4 just this week. I see a couple in the audience here, so welcome. And we have 2 more moving in towards the end of the month here. So we've been pretty busy on our end here. Still growing our wait list for people that are looking to move to Woodland Pond in the future. And I just ran the numbers on them. We have 50 spots on our wait list booked. It's 36 couples and 14 single people on our list as of today, because we have quite a few applications still out, and we don't officially add you until everything is complete and approved, and we officially put you on the list. We also have a couple of our marketing events coming up. Every year we do a resident panel luncheon. The first one is going to be on June 7th. It's Wednesday, June 7th. And the second one's going to be July 19th. And this is where we have about 8 to 10 residents speak to an audience. Typically we get sold out. Our June date is just about sold out already. Where the prospective residents come in, they have lunch, and there's a panel of residents that talk to them about Woodland Pond and why they've moved here and why they like living here. And then we open it up to question and answers. So if you know anyone who's thinking about coming here, this is a really good event for them to come to. Just give us a call and we can hopefully get them on the list if there's still space. And the end of June, I am looking to schedule a photo shoot to take some more pictures of residents and places of Woodland Pond, specifically to use in marketing ads. You'll see a lot of our ads in Hudson Valley Magazine and various things online. So if you are interested, please give us a call. We will also be reaching out to some of you as well to see if you'd like to participate. And that is all that I have. Any questions for me? No? All right. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm Jason Irish, Director of Concierge and Communication Services. I have a couple things. What happened? Yeah, for now. I've only got a couple things. The first thing I want to mention is before COVID, we used to have Peapod deliveries and other Instacart deliveries. They weren't Instacart, but it was Peapod and other grocery deliveries. And we allowed the drivers to bring the groceries to the apartment. Since COVID, we kind of discontinued that. And the idea has resurfaced of us allowing the drivers back in. At first, we were on board with it, but after some discussion, we decided against it. The reason being is because before COVID, the drivers that drove these deliveries worked for the grocery stores. Now the drivers, if you see them, again, I don't want to bash them because they're out here trying to make a living like the rest of us, but they're not the best looking people. They're not, in my opinion, but probably in most people's opinion. I know I'm rambling here. They're just not. And we just don't feel comfortable allowing them to walk through the facility without anyone with them. So that's why we've decided against having Instacart delivery drivers deliver to the apartments, if anyone has questions about that. The next thing I want to mention is all these videos that we post online or stream in the pack, they all can be found. Most of you know this, but for those of you that don't, if you go to our YouTube page and type in Woodland Pond, you can search all of our videos. So you can review this. If I talk too fast or if someone else talks too fast and you don't understand what I was saying, or you just want to review it, go to our YouTube page and rewatch all the videos. Yesterday we had a TikTok. Today we have something after this for the mental health awareness. We try to record as much as possible. So please, check out our YouTube page and rewatch the videos if you have, a need to do so.
Is there closed captioning available?
So we're trying to play with this on YouTube. If you rewatch the videos on YouTube, even if you rewatch Michelle's talks, which she does weekly, you can put closed captions on YouTube. So you can click the button for closed captions and it'll read it across the screen. When we run them live, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We kind of have to do it through Zoom because that's the program we use. So it doesn't always work. But closed captions through the rewatched on YouTube, you can get it with closed captions. Any questions for me about anything?
This is in your role as Director of Communications. What about having an electronic marketplace? People, I know we have the bulletin board in the cart room. It's really not used that well. And
Well, I don't know what Yakov is going to say. I'll let him talk. But another idea which we haven't really discussed and we don't really use is our forum on the resident portal. It's something that we should use more and we need to promote more on our website through the resident portal. Again, the password for that is Woodland, all lowercase, which we talked about before. There's a forum there where we can post things, whether you're selling a car or you're selling anything, or maybe not selling anything. If you have questions about tech, or, whatever it is, but I'll let Yakov talk. And that's my idea. But again, we don't use it in that way, but we should. Right. Right. Yeah, we should.
I started meeting with Cameron exactly about that. I mean, this was a topic that we have been talking about for quite a while. And we realized that part of the problem is people's familiarity with using the portal and getting familiar with navigating it and so on. So in my opinion, the first thing that has to happen is to have some tutorials, if you want, and maybe small groups even to get people familiar with that and try to use it, because it is indeed it's there, but it's been inactive. I mean, nothing happened there for a couple of years already. So that's one. And because we discussed about having something similar to the bulletin board on the CLC, but if we have the portal at Woodland Pond, there is no reason why we shouldn't use it. If people have difficulty how to do that, we may probably have to write up some instructions and so on.
Yeah, I don't know that we necessarily have to do small groups. I think this format was very easy to follow. So we could do something similar to this. So we have the technology. Other questions for Jason? Rolf?
I have a question concerning the evacuation orders. If this room is to be evacuated, will they tell us specifically which door to go out of? When we go outside, do we stay as a group, or can we leave that and look for our spouse, so to speak? Or what are the?
I guess it depends. It depends on the emergency. It depends on the evacuation. I'll let Tom answer it, but it depends.
Yeah, I think what Jason just said is very correct. It depends on what it is. There will be no evacuation request or order given until there's a need. So therefore, like if, obviously if there's a fire in this room, we'll leave. But if the alarm goes off and we don't know where it is, and then when the fire department gets here, if they decide we need to leave, then we'll be leaving and they'll be directing the patient. In general, though, it's an excellent question, and something I should maybe address more often is if we did have to evacuate, it's very important that you stay where you are, because we and the fire department, we're going to need to know where you are. Because like if you took off and we didn't know where Ralph was, we wouldn't want the fire department going looking for you. So it's a good question. When you get outside, stay there. But, you know, we do really need to stress, like Michelle says each time, you know, sheltering in place is the safest option unless the fire is right where you are. All right.
Other questions for Jason? Okay. I think that everything that I had has been covered by somebody else, which means I can retire. Because being everything covered by them during Philip's sabbatical and you covering everything that I had on my list, I think my job is done. Yeah, does anybody have anything for me while I'm here? For those that I haven't met, I'm Michelle Grimalia, the president and CEO. Everyone, it's on. Go ahead, Bill.
Did you have a talk yesterday because you couldn't find it on YouTube?
I didn't.
Okay.
Betsy asked me. I didn't really have anything. All these people did, and they don't have a talk, so I didn't do one. I figured we'd have management Q&A today, so, and I was off, so I wasn't going to do it. Anybody have anything else? Oh,
Maddie, hang on.
Earlier, somebody talked about a training that was being given, I think, to staff of the health center in dealing with dementia. I think it would be interesting to have that available to residents because I don't know about the rest of you, but I occasionally encounter people that really worry me and I'm not sure what I should be doing. It might be helpful.
So what Cameron had said was we are working with, so there is actually, believe it or not, right in Germantown, New York, which is, for those of you that don't know, it's over in Dutchess County on the sort of Dutchess County, Columbia County border. An organization called the Avila Institute of Gerontology. And they offer a wide variety of different types of training. I think it's one location of many that they have across the country, but it actually started, from what I understand, as a parochial-based organization. But they've developed into really industry-wide experts on gerontology training. And we've used them before to train our trainers in the past. And they've done some Garden View training on staff, but maybe like 7 or 8 years ago. I am interested in getting some resident training. My focus was on resident caregivers, specifically family members of folks either in Garden View, spouses, and then maybe expanding a little bit from there. But what Cameron is focusing on right now is just understanding what our options are in terms of training staff, training trainers, and then expanding from there. So she's working with them to kind of get a scope of what they offer and going from there. I think there's an expansive need on campus to do some more of that. So I will add that to her list to talk to them about what's available. If not 2023, then 2024, as we look at budget wise, what that could look like. And we'll go from there. Bria?
I just wanted to say that when they were here before, which probably was 6 or 7 years ago, they were wonderful.
Okay.
And there were residents, I don't remember what the mix was exactly, as well as staff people, but it was, and I've had other training that we've had here. They are by far superior to anything I've seen. There's a lot of interactive stuff that they do.
Yeah, I definitely am interested in having it be in person rather than virtual or, online. So that's what I'm having Cameron do research on. Halima? Just 1 second, just have Jason.
Over the years, a few people have asked me about caregiver support groups, not virtual, but in person. There are a number of people, as you know, here who are struggling with their partners. Do you have any suggestions about a in-person caregiver support group here?
Yeah, so this is something that the Mental Health and Wellness Task Force talks about at just about all of our meetings. And those of you that are here on the Mental Health and Wellness Task Force, you can dispute what I'm saying or support what I'm saying, but it's one of the 3 or 4 support groups that we've identified a need for. And we have looked and sought exhaustively to try to find facilitators for a caregiver support group. One of the things that we identified pretty early on in our discussion process for that particular group was that we felt that the last time that it was attempted by someone within Woodland Pond, it was not successful. So we've been looking for an outside facilitator and we have not been successful. We have not been successful with finding outside in-person people for a lot of the endeavors that we're looking for, unfortunately. Would those of you that are here raise your hand? Would you, if you agree with me, that are on the task force? We've been trying to find in-person counselors, facilitators for grief and loss support, transition support groups, and caregiver support groups, and we have been batting almost 0% with the exception of grief support group. We were able to find that with hospice. We have been having some limited success with finding presenters in person, but in terms of support groups and counseling, which is caregiving support, again, transition support and loss support, we are not having much success, and we have been trying to turn over just about every stone. It's been extremely frustrating, but we are actively looking for it. We recognize for sure that there is a need. So I will, again, we'll emphasize this at our next meetings. We meet, the full group meets every 2 weeks, and then the management meets every once a month with the group. So we will continue to emphasize this as a significant need. Marilyn?
I just want to add to your list a Parkinson's disease support group, please.
We will add it to the list. Parkinson's. Just on that note, I think I'm proud of the fact that we have an active working mental health and wellness task force that didn't exist a year and a half ago, but it has been very frustrating with us trying to find practitioners, because we have many residents now coming to us and saying, I'm willing to engage in counseling, please find me someone. And it has just been very challenging. I'm willing to do a support group, please find me a support group. And we just have been banging our head against the wall. It's been a really problematic. Betsy?
There's something coming up at 3 o'clock in this room. Will you tell us about what it is?
Ronnie? Was it Amy Nitza?
Amy Nitza, who spoke back in November on the age of anxiety, and she is the executive director of Disaster Mental Health. It's a program that runs out of SUNY New Paltz, and she's coming back for part 2 at 3 o'clock to deal with resilience, on how to deal with these issues. I encourage everyone to come. She's a fabulous speaker. No, she's going to be here at 3 in this room in 15 minutes.
Yes, the Amy Nitza program at 3 p.m. today will be on 1340 in the room, and we'll record it and have it on YouTube tomorrow.
Right.
Correct. Yeah,
So
it
if
is
you want
live.
to go take a potty break, take a walk, go do that, and then come back at 3 o'clock or watch on channel 1340. Tamar?
I was just going to reiterate that people can just stay here. She'll be here, should be
Yeah.
15
Or
minutes.
you can go stretch your legs or whatever. We'll see you
Yeah.
guys next month. Bye.